Hello and welcome to anyone who dares witness how Force actually, playtest this game. And I have laid everything out already in terms of all the locations of everything here, and I have the pieces wherever I feel is needed or potentially needed. I want to throw out a few notes in terms of what this playtest incurs. The herb decks are not based around the idea of cross faction. The herb deck isn't based around preventing a cross faction deck, but I'm right now only testing to play mono color decks. As of right now, I want maybe potentially the first 2 or 3 sets to potentially be focused on it. I haven't decided that, but definitely the first one. So I didn't focus on the herb deck being in that sense. I also want to mention that I put all the cards in that I've made into the deck, like 2 copies of each. So it is not optimized for what would be considered competitive play. I really should, considering it's in my best interest to do so. But I don't, considering how the game plays, it's difficult to even really think what would be optimized. And I'm not exactly one of the best deck builders out there. So I want to throw those notes out there. It's going to be red versus white. So the faction that's focused on Flask will be on this side. And the one focused on what originally was avatars, but right now it's going to be the recipes, though it's not signified in that way right now as to be the case. And I'm going to be, let's make sure this is visible, the avatar I have right now. I don't know if you can read that, but it's the one that's focused around burning herbs. So right now you draw an herb if you alchemize a burnt herb, and you need to burn 8 herbs to level up. And I will show the leveled up versions of it when I get there. And the flask one will be focused on around shattering flasks and making better use of them. This is pretty much my first recorded playtest, so when it comes to balance, it does not exist. I have no idea how to balance this right now. It will require quite a bit of play testing, but also kind of showcasing how a match would go to potentially see if even interest in it would exist in terms of putting more effort into it. I see this being very flexible and something different as much as it can be for a trading card game, and we'll see. But I will be showing off a match between red and white as their current iterations of completely unoptimized decks, and to kind of showcase the game. If you're watching this, feedback would be greatly appreciated, or like anything, even just comment. But it'll have to do. All right, let's get everything in position now. We're going to assume that red is going first, and here we go. All right, so draw a card. Boink. This is turn 1. So there's only going to be the first person's turn, that drawback. First person needs to have that initial drawback. And first turn will be draw 1 herb. And it will go to the energy pile, which oddly enough, I do not have the location for it right there. But draw 1 red herb. This costs 2, so I can't do anything. So turn over. I'll swap over. I did not pre-draw the cards here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then one more. It's too bad that I don't know if these are going to be legible on the video, which is really unfortunate. But I will read the cards as I play them. Alright, so let's go boop, boop, flip them over. Alright, no white herbs, so we'll go ahead and take that one because it doesn't matter which one goes. We'll just go ahead and put that there. I have the same card on this side too, but it costs 2 mana. I can't do anything turn 1. Unfortunate. And one thing I have noticed, I probably need to make a few more turn 1 cards. That way things can happen. But alright, swap over to back over here. Draw a card. I didn't draw. Did I draw a 6 card? Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. Alright. Boop. Boop. I like doing it this way. Let's flip them over. We need to remember to just... Oh, no. No red herbs. We'll go ahead and do the same here. Okay, what do I have here? Greedy Gremlin. Hot potato. 2 greedy gremlins. Oof. Alright. Here. Let's showcase the cards real quick. There's Brainstorm, draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. The greedy gremlin I have 2 of in my hand during herb picking phase. You may draw an extra herb and put the herb into this flask, but must discard a card. Probably a little too brutal for this was right now. Hot potato, the next herb the opponent puts in a flask is a burnt herb. Give 1 impression. Which, by the way, impressions is how you win the game. I guess I wish I expressed that earlier. But your goal is to have 5 more points than your opponent, and whenever you give an impression, that's how you get a point. It's kind of like a scale that tips back and forth, and you're going for tilting it completely on your end. Impressive recipe requires at least 2 red herbs in the flask, which if you have 2 red herbs in the flask, it gives 1 impression. If it's in the bottom and the middle, you get 2 instead. Heated hand, turn all herbs in target flask burnt. And destruction recipe, which requires at least 1 red herb to destroy any flask or puff. If you have a red herb in the middle, you can also destroy an energy from your opponent in their energy pile. This might have to be one at random. I think I will go ahead and use brainstorming to draw 2 cards. Discard pile was right here. So 2 energy to any energy. I will draw 2 cards. And I think I will just go ahead and get rid of the greedy gremlins. And I will explain things as I go when it comes to using things. And I have 2 avatar cards here. What are you doing in here? Alright. Doot. Clearly I have not fixed everything. You can go away. Alright, I have drawn a lava flask. All herbs in this flask count as burnt. Fostering warmth, a recipe with 1 red in the bottom for perfection. Draw 2 cards and discard 1, or draw 3 instead. So, alright, now it seems that red has a draw engine. Okay, so that's all I can do right now. So over to the other team. Alright, draw a card. 2 go. Flip them over. Alright, so a red herb and a white herb. What do I... A vacuum flask. Whenever you alchemize with this flask, you destroy a puff. Brainstorm. If I fits, I sits. This flask's bottom is always filled. Counts it as any 4 recipes. So it counts for whatever herb you're in. It's kind of like a wild card. Impressive, which was on the other side, the impression recipe. Table turner. 3 white herbs is needed for this recipe, no matter what. That has to be all 3 white. And the flash slot now has chiming, so you get 1 impression per turn at the start of your turn, every turn, which is amazing. Flash juggling, you may relocate all your flash cards to new location and shatter 1 to give 1 impression. And glass harmonizing, this recipe benefits from all flash cards you have in play. In the perfect, okay, I had to remember what this did. Okay, so this is I clearly need to word it better, but if you have flask in play, you activate their what they do, and if you do a perfect recipe, you get the benefit of, you activate the benefits for the opponent as well, for yourself. But that is definitely not worded that way, so I definitely need some work here. I think I will work towards recipes, so I will do this. Boop. Go ahead and do brainstorming. So let's go ahead and put those in there. Let's get them all together. Alright, so, oh, and this goes right in here. Go to, I drew a reforming flask shatter. When this flask shatters, go into your deck and grab another reforming flask and place it on the same slot. And destroy target puff. My biggest fan. Now I gotta discard 2 cards, which I think I don't want to. No, we will get rid of this one and this one. The ones that involve puffs. Alright, and I can't do anything else, so let's go back to this. Draw a card. Put 2 herbs out there. Flip them over. A red and a let's see here. Oh, I think what we will do is put this here. Put this in an energy pile because we want that flask. We want that flask available because it works really well with this card right here, which is requires all 3 herbs to be red, and give 1 impression, extra 1 impression per burnt herb in the flask used for this recipe. Burnt herbs act as red herbs, so this can be a total of 4 impressions in one go. Alright, can't do anything else, so we're gonna go and drop the other one. As I'm playing this, I'm seeing that there definitely needs to be some deck optimization in terms of getting like cards that you can play early, because right now nothing much has really happened. But right now I'm just demonstrating how the game plays, and actually essentially, you know, finding out where the work needs to be done as well. Draw a card, spit shine, target flask, make target flask pristine. Alchemize gives an extra impression. So kind of like an enchant flask kind of card. And we will draw the 2 herbs. Flip. Why do I keep flipping that? Alright. So I don't want that yet. I do want that. But that gives me the risk of not being able to do anything else for a little while because I do not have any herbs, white herbs in my energy pile as of right now, so I can't do anything. But it's going to be very, very steamrolly once I get that done. It would be very advised for Red over here to use the heated hands and turn all flasks, all herbs in target flask burnt, so he can't get that, and they turn red. I would say kind of having them tap would be a way to signify that they are burnt. Alright, draw a card. I got Baking Soda Volcano. Give an extra impression and discard the energy instead of gaining it. Perfection, get 2 extra impressions and choose 2 herbs to discard instead. So definitely good incentive to, you know, make sure that one is perfect. And let's get the herbs. Dunk dunk. Flip. There is a red one. Alright, so what do we have here? Of course, that probably costs way too much for what that does, but considering what it can do, it's very good. Because it essentially turned all these herbs into, which, by the way, would be a good idea to just go ahead and go dunk, dunk. Now I have 2 red energy. I can make hot potato be a thing, which, by the way, it's a distraction. It can be played during your opponent's turn, kind of like an instant, while techniques are sorceries. You can equate them that way. But not knowing what, because I don't know what's in the person's hands, I may just go ahead and use this. So I will go ahead and pay for it. Use Lava Flask. And since, hang on, I'm going to move these, put this on top. And now though both those herbs are considered, hang on, doot, rotate to signify that they are burnt. And now I've got 2 red herbs in the middle flask. And can't do anything else. We have also burnt 2 herbs now, so we can, since this is 8, we'll use this one. We'll, set it to 2. We have burnt 2 herbs to keep track of, you know, the fact that we are going to, you know, potentially level up. But all right, we'll go change teams. All right, draw a card. We drew 3 white energy, grab a flask from discard pile and put it into play. Glue it up. So pretty much fix the flask. All right, we'll move 2 herbs over here. We'll flip them. Really unfortunate because I already know what's going to happen, which probably means need to tone something down. All right, we don't want that because it does nothing. We could make a puff out of this, but considering I have 2 herbs there, I don't want to do that. So we'll go put this here, put this here. I can't really do anything else. Turn over. Go back over here. where the next play is very obvious. We'll draw a card. What is it? My biggest fan again. Destroy target puff. 2 energy to destroy a puff. That may need to be a bit higher. And why is the text white? The text is white. I need to fix that too. I should write that down. And let's go dunk, dunk, flip them over. Doesn't matter because we clearly want to do this. We put this in here. Since all herbs in there are flat or burnt, that means we have red. We can essentially do any of these with a perfection on it. And oddly enough, we want to do the Grand Fireworks, which gives 1 impression and 1 extra impression per burnt herb used in the recipe. That's 4 impressions and 5 because we alchemized. So all this is now here. You didn't have to, just so it won't link up. Not that it matters right now, because we essentially just won, because we just got 5 impressions and we got 5 points in front of the opponent. Essentially red just won here. Though if per se, if white had drawn a white herb here, he would have been able to play the table turner, which would have given him 1 impression, which would have prevented the win right there. And now it would be constantly getting an impression from here on out through the game. Now, hang on, would he have been able to do anything? No. Actually, yeah, he would have still been able to win, because he would have had the 3 burnt herbs and used 2 of them to cast Hot Potato to give the 1 impression and burn. No. Well, considering it's an instant, then yes, it would. If it's categorized as an instant, then yes, it would have been done it. And now the opponent knows his next herb would have been burnt versus, while he was trying to put it on there. But could have used it for that 1 extra impression that he needed to win. But white already was setting himself up to snowball, because he was going to constantly get one impression every turn from now on, because there's no way to reverse that effect. And he would have been able to, well, he wouldn't have a flask right now. Probably, no, that's a recipe. You'd know a flask in play, even though it's a flask-oriented deck. But, had he, decided to go for, alchemized, it wouldn't have saved him. But, I guess in a sense that maybe the lava flask needs to cost more, because it essentially gives the player way too much ease to get to perfect all the recipes and get the mana needed, that or give a condition that burnt herbs don't go to the energy pile, which would be another idea. There's 2 ideas and potentially how the mechanics work in terms to change it to not make probably essentially the best, probably the win condition for red, the Grand Fireworks recipe, to be so easily done. It's like the game barely, no one got to level up, nothing. But I played the game the way that it's set up right now. So there's clear that changes need to be made, or at least, some work in mechanics and, cost of cards. It's really hard to judge what things should cost. Typically when it comes to card draw, it's usually, two mana per one card draw. But considering how this game plays, it's not really much too similar to anything that's out there. So it's kind of hard to really kind of give it that level of balance. But I wanted to show off a game, even though this one was super short. Hopefully next time it will be live streamed, and I hope there is potential in this, and let me know. Of course, this was clearly an aggro deck that went way too fast. And I hope to see you in the future. Thank you.